Hi and welcome back. So this morning I got exciting mail, book mail, the best kind. But instead of these books being ones that I bought myself, I got my first book for review. I'm so excited because for reasons that will become evident, this book sounds so fantastic. Like, oh, and it's by an Australian author. So, I'm all about Australian authors. It's great. So, I've received this book for early review and it is set to be published in April, so not too long to wait for it. So for this, I've decided to do a reading vlog and review. So, into what book it was. It is Taking Down Evelyn Tait by Poppy Nwosu. And this blurb, alright, just if you've been here for a while, you'll know. So into me reading the blurb. The door creaks open and standing in the entrance is my absolute worst nightmare. Perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect brain, perfect sneer, Evelyn Tait. Impulsive Lottie, heavy metal fan, expert tomato grower, and frequent visitor to the principal's office, is in even more trouble than usual. Her best friend, Grace, has dropped an unlikely bombshell. She's dating Lottie's mortal enemy, good girl Evelyn Tait. Studious Jude, the boy next door, has the perfect war plan. Lottie will beat Evelyn at her own good girl game, unveiling Miss Perfect's sinister side in the process. Taking life more seriously starts as fun, but soon offers its own reward. So long as Lottie can manage gorgeous Sebastian's sudden interest, Jude acting weird, and the discovery that she might actually be good at something. Taking Down Evelyn Tait is a story about family, friends, and embracing who you are, even if that person is kind of weird. So it's YA, set in Australia, I'm assuming, because, you know, yeah. And it just sounds so damn good. So we've got our main character, Lottie. This is at this point just making assumptions, and yeah, this is just based on what I can get from the blurb. It is the main character, Lottie, being upset with her best friend for dating the girl that she despises, and forming an unlikely bond with the people around her, that being her neighbor. So I'm hoping there's gonna be teen angst, because apparently I'm in the mood for that. A lot of tension. And yeah, and I'm just hoping it's cute, light and fluffy, and the type of YA that originally got me reading YA. I got lost down the track somewhere reading a lot of different amalgamations of genres under the YA umbrella, but finding my way back to what I love, and that would be angst and tension. And if you knew me as a teenager, I'd be like, nah, I hate angst, I hate it, I'm not angsty ever. Literally the most angsty statement that could be said. So, excited to read this. In the package, it came in this cute little bag, and I'm actually surprised that a whole novel fits in like a little party bag, but it did, and I think it's cute. So I'm probably going to reuse this at some point because I know that novels fit in it now. Got just like a standard media release paper. I got a postcard, which is really cute. Then on the flip side, just that. this bookmark that I'm totally going to be using for this book, and I hope I don't destroy it with my fidgety hands. And something that I've already put up. It came with a little pin, which is really cute. Yeah, so I'm super excited to get started. Well, I'm hungover from the last book that I read, but I feel like this is the absolute most perfect thing to put in the middle between that book and the next book that I've ordered in. So yeah, so excited to get started. And I hope you enjoy this ride. Feel free to grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, anything that you would like to drink. Food is always great, and yeah, just enjoy the ride, the journey, all the synonyms for that. So here's the cute little pin. It's basically the same illustration on the front cover. So yeah, it sits there now. No, from my sister's spare bedroom floor. So just thought I'd do a little bit of a catch up because I am midway through social distancing, midway through week 3 of doing honours, and I am halfway through reading Taking Down Evelyn Tait. So yes, with honours being in full swing and the country basically shutting down, it's been very difficult to find a balance to do everything. So I've just been in like this never-ending storm cycle thingy of uni work, personal creative work, reading, and uni reading. So just slightly over that way, this white chunky one here, I have to read that for uni. Yeah, so I've been trying to find a balance, but it's a terrible, terrible balance that I don't know if it's working really. I've been incredibly tired because I just keep reading to 2 a.m. Then I wake up at 9-ish each day. It's been earlier some days to start uni work, and then at some point I'll do creative work, and then and I feel like I've made no dent in my uni work, but success halfway through. So I thought I'd do some thoughts on this as it stands. I read the first 2 chapters ages ago. It was ages ago. More or less, sorry, got distracted there by uni book. I read the first 2 chapters when I first received the book because I was just so excited, and I received it at the time. Sorry, I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, so sitting on the ground isn't the most comfy. Anyway, I received the book soon after I had read another book, and I was in a book hangover for that, so I was like, great, this is the perfect thing to fill the space in with. I think I've mentioned that at the start of this video where I was in the mood for teen angst, and that was true, but then something happened, I don't remember what, and then I ended up getting the second book in that series. Even though I had ordered it in, it came in pretty quickly, and so I started reading that, and it was this book here. It came in and I more or less started reading it straight away, but then I stopped because of uni. So I read the first 2 chapters, and then, yeah, as I said, I just put off reading more or less for everything. And so my first initial interest in it tapered off, but not in a bad way. It was just because I didn't remember the beginning. So when I went back into it, I was just like, how am I gonna find, camera's doing a weird thing. Okay, it's gone. I was like, there's nothing nothing, like I hardly remember the first 2 chapters, and then I just had forgotten what those were somehow, like in depth. So the interest wasn't completely there, but I was like, no, I do have to read it. I will read it. So I got to the end of chapter 3. The ending of chapter 3, which you saw me read. So that reaction was 100% genuine. I mean, I could fake a reaction like that, not gonna lie. Me being me, I know it's something that I'm potentially capable of, but I promised, hand on heart, that was a god honest reaction. It made me go woo. Everything just clicked in that moment. Everything was just like, now I understand why there are all of these emotions, why everyone's acting this way. And it just added a dimension to it that made it so much more interesting. I'm a weird person where I don't usually like stuff written about families. I don't know why. A lot of people are just like, oh, I love my family, so I just love reading family dynamics, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that's the normal thing, that's like to be interested in family stories because you have a supportive family. I don't know. There's obviously going to be complexities behind that, and it's not the only reason why people love a family narrative. And it's not to say that I have a terrible family. I really don't. I have a generally supportive family. We're all a bit judgy and bitchy, but that's just us. But we can deal with that. So it's not like I don't connect with the family narrative. I just, for some reason, usually I'm just like, okay, family narrative. But the family dynamic in this one is interesting, and it might be because it's not something I'm used to, where it's a blended family. I think that's a new term, or it's a new term. No, I'm not going to use that word. What word am I trying to? It's semi new to me. It's not a concept It's not a concept. It's not an experience I'm used to, or Anyway, it's dusk. It is 7:30 and I've been listening to recorded online seminars, so you know my brains are just brains apparently. Yep, so sorry for all the rambling, but trying to be, what is the word? I feel like it starts with A. Or it's not, because I think the word I was looking for is coherent. So yes, I think the family dynamics very interesting, and I'm enjoying reading that. And I usually judge books by specifically books that have like a romance element to it. So that's majority of what I read. I judge how good it is based on the physical feelings I get in my chest. So whether that's like tightness or a burning, it usually feels like a little bit of a fiery fist to my chest that yep, if the romance or tension's really, really good. This emotion has led me, feeling, whatever, has led me to give books 5 stars when retrospectively I'd be like, nah, that was nowhere near 5 stars, simply because of the romantic elements in it. This book is getting me and nothing's happened yet, so it's the teen angst and tension that's getting me here, so it's good so far. And I didn't expect it not to be, and I don't expect the second half to be shit either, because oh my god, I usually hate teenagers, and I don't know if it's like a specific type of teenager, like American versus Australian, but I know what Australian teenagers are like, so I don't really like them at all. But these teenagers, they're cute. I'm a little mad because 2 characters aren't together yet, but then as I've said before, there's no intention. I'm disinterested. So I am there because there is subtle tension and the main character doesn't even friggin' realize. I went on way too long. It was supposed to be a quick little catch up of my brain, but yeah. I don't know. I used to not be able to force myself to read books, but this year has been real different where I've done it on multiple occasions. And it's not that I'm not interested in the book and I had to force myself, but I had to clear my mind and be like, sit down and read. And I did that. So personal growth here, and I wanted that to be reflected somewhere. So it is. That's it. Currently it's back to uni work, but in this vlog, back to reading. I'm back on the floor with a semi-boring background, but there's not much that I can do right now because I'm still away from my sister who's social isolating at the moment. And it's kind of making me sad. Like I'm homesick, so that's one reason for being sad. The other reason, I don't have any earrings with me, nor any clips or hair accessories. So I have to do what I can. I mean, I tried a little twirly, twisty thing with my hair and it's cute. And I don't have any hair dye with me, so my hair is not looking the greatest. But anyway, we have hit the review portion of this video. I have written no notes down. I'm just gonna wing it. It'll be great. I think my mind is relatively clear enough and collected enough that I'll be able to do this. Maybe. We'll see how I go. So, look, taking down Evelyn Tait by Poppy Nwosu. It was good. So what ended up happening, and the reason why I barely filmed any reading for the reading vlog part of this video, is because I ended up spending my time reading the second half of the book way past midnight. I ended up reading until 3 AM and I was wanting to finish it, but I couldn't keep my eyes open. So I ended up finishing it the next day, and I think that's the clip I got going there. I don't remember now, it's been a couple of days. And that was me finishing the book. So I think by that reaction, I enjoyed it. It's a 5-star read. So I'll just, let's see if that works well enough. Maybe we can do a little bit of an angle. Okay, maybe. Ooh. That works. Okay. So convenient right now. So as a 21-year-old, it has been a long time since I've been in high school. It's not that long. It's not that long. But I blocked all of it out. I blocked all of it out because I didn't like high school. Barely anyone does. Standard. But the description of high school in this wasn't terrible. So I'm fairly sure it was based in Adelaide, and I barely know Adelaide. So I've been there like once when I was 9. I barely remember Adelaide. So, but it's pretty stock standard to understand Australian setting when you've been around Australia for a while, like the coastal setting that I got. Adelaide's always just a little bit hotter than Melbourne majority of the time, so that I knew. I could all imagine it in my head. So the setting of high school and the town city was fairly good. It was done well. I can already see the flaws in me doing this semi-unscripted. Well, I don't really script, I do semi-scripts, but doing it without anything, already a struggle. Okay, so I'll just go from the characters. Characters were great. They had So you've got five main characters. Charlotte was great. Lottie, I know I say this about basically all the characters that I talk about in my videos. I like them to be full-bodied. I like them to have motivations, desires, wishes, quirks, flaws. I like all of it. Because to me it just doesn't feel real if they don't have all of that. So all of the characters had that. So tick. The tension between characters, not even like romantic tension or anything, but that was good too. That was so very good, so very good. The tension between Lottie and Evelyn, great. The tension Lottie has with any of the characters, fantastic. Lottie is actually such a great character. I can see people might get annoyed with the type of character that she is. If I met this girl in person and I was the same age as her, particularly, maybe not. Even if I met her at this age, I don't know, I don't really like teenagers at this age. But if I were a teenager, we're just gonna go if I were Lottie's age and she was in my class, I'd probably be most annoyed with her. I don't really like these, well, when I was in high school, I never really liked those sort of characters, but I think it's because I never really got to know them, because I didn't have time or energy to get to know them, which is fine because when you're in high school you run with different groups and whatnot. But because Lottie is the main character, you have no choice but to get to know her, and I actually love her deeply. She just has so much character. She isn't just some, what's the word? Someone who misbehaves a lot. Miscreant came to mind, but it's not miscreant at all. I just knocked my teeth together. Oh, it starts with D, and I'm confident this time that it starts with D. Delinquent is the word. She doesn't like herself being called a delinquent, which is fair enough, who would? But a lot of the outward behavior that majority of the people around her see is kind of classified as delinquent behavior. But she has so many layers and it's so good. She isn't just one of those girls, like one of those high schoolers that just doesn't give a shit. And outwardly she does seem like that sort of person, but the way Poppy has written the character and the way we get introduced to all of her layers is so good. So you actually get emotionally invested in the characters. By the way, Jude, I don't usually do chef's kiss, but Jude, I love him so much. Like, I'm stuck between, like, I wouldn't want to date him because he's 16 years old. But I kind of want to be like a mama bear and protect him. Jude at the ending, honestly, my heartstrings pulled. Just want to like wrap him in a blanket. I kind of wish, actually, now that I think about it, that Evelyn Tait's character was explained a little bit more. She was a complex character, which is good. She had good reasonings behind character decisions and behavior, which is good. It's what you want. But I think there wasn't enough explanation or enough exploration behind her emotions to fully get the picture that led to one of the pinnacle moment in the book. It's like the tip of the climax point, I think. It was kind of the tip of the climax, I reckon. In that moment, she was a bit unhinged. So it's just more, I don't think there was enough exploration behind the complexities of her emotions to completely understand everything behind her decisions. But I mean, that's kind of expected, especially because it's from Lottie's point of view. Is it first person? Yeah. So it's not like, oh wow, I actually bent it. How rude of me. Oh my gosh. You know what? I ended up bending this, but it looks like it recovered because I accidentally sat on it and it went between two couch cushions. So me at the start of the video is annoyed at me now. No, don't fall. Whatever. Yeah, so I mean, it being first person, of course we're not gonna get the complete emotions behind Evelyn, but I think that's just me being slightly nitpicky. I would have liked to have seen it, but for obvious reasons we didn't see her complete emotional turbulence, is a good word. Grace, I loved. She was so, I feel like she's such a trendy character, and yeah, I mean, she had pink hair. I did have pink hair, so you know, I feel Grace on the pink hair decision. I would have liked more scenes with Grace, maybe. Anyway, another little nitpicky thing. I really liked the events that Poppy decided to show the characters going through. Because I just think it's such a fun thing. So we got the high school setting, but then they also go to a fair, and then where else do they go? There's always like beach. Not always beach. There's always mentions of the beach, and then they go to the beach a couple of times, and then there's always the river, and then they go to the river a couple of times. So I think all of the locations that and it's mainly based in the 2 apartments, so, or flats. You got Lottie's apartment flat, and then Jude's apartment flat, because they're right next to each other, because they're neighbours, which I love that dynamic there. What else? Oh yeah, story. The story, plotline, thingy, all of that, all of these technical terms that I studied, clearly excelling in my field. It progressed really well. I think the pacing was really good as well. The fact that I got through half of the book, more or less, the second half of the book in 3 hours is pretty good for me. It's slow reading, but for me to be able to just keep going is a good sign of good plot progression and pacing. I don't think it really lagged in any places besides the first 2 chapters of setting up the situation of Lottie's reputation of being a delinquent, and then understanding her emotions in chapter 3, and then chapter 3 ending, which hit me. I think that's the only time it went a little slow. There were times in the book though, that I wanted to scream at Lottie, because I was just like, girl, you are blind. But it's fair enough. She has a lot of other things on her mind. She's like a typical teenager, worried. She's semi-worried about school. She becomes semi-worried about her reputation as a delinquent, and does want to change that just slightly. Maybe, I think she does. She becomes very focused on getting Evelyn Tait back. Hence the title. A lot of steps she takes to self-improvement, which it is self-improvement, but it's not seen as self-improvement in the book, but it is anyway. Oh yeah, so that would link into a character arc, because characters did develop, like all of them did. Jude's one makes me sad. Poor Jude. Where did I start with that thought? Yeah, so it's self-improvement, but not. So all of the flow back from the steps she takes in improvement, that sentence flew out the window. Yeah, I'm just gonna, that's a full stop on that sentence. I more or less loved everything in this book except one thing, which is the biggest nitpicky thing ever. I know I mentioned a couple of nitpicky things like just before, but they didn't really bother me too much. It's only when I like go deep into thinking about things that it bothers me. But when reading, it didn't bother me. The one thing that bothered me while reading, again, biggest nitpicky thing ever, I just didn't, in some scenes, I just didn't understand some of the movements. Now, this is more like from a writer's perspective. One of the things we're kind of taught in class, it's not really, it's like a throwaway kind of lesson sort of thing. When you have a scene with characters and with objects, and it's in some setting, you kind of have to treat it like a stage play. So you have a scene, your setting, your props. Now you've got to keep track, or no, you don't have to, but this is something that I'm big for, and some of my teachers have been big for. When you have these people and props in a scene, in a setting, you've got to keep track of them. So you've got to know where each character is positioned. You've got to know where each prop is positioned. There was one time where they were in a pub, and I think this is when I first started to notice it. And then it was just something that I noticed as I read on. So as I was reading, I noticed they were in a pub, and the seating arrangement wasn't really laid out. So Lottie was sitting next to Jude, but then Evelyn was sitting across from her, but then at one point she leaned across Jude to talk to Evelyn. So I'm just like, wait, where are they sitting? How are they sitting? And then another scene, I think there was an object that was introduced at some point, then it kind of disappeared, and then it was spoken about again, I think, and then it disappeared again. It's like the smallest nitpicky thing, and it clearly didn't affect my rating of the book because it's still a 5-star read. It's just something that bothers me in anything that I read. So yeah, and that's a personal thing as well. It's something I struggle while writing because it's something I'm constantly thinking about. Okay, these are the people, these are the props. What am I doing? And just sometimes because I'm a very visual reader, I picture everything in my head. I picture everything as like a movie scene or whatever. Like I set everything up in my head as it's described. And I think it's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to fantasies that do a good job of describing setting, because then I'm able to visualize everything. Yeah, I struggled at times to visualize the individual small settings, excuse me, of like the bedroom or the pub and how they were sitting or how they were doing certain activities. So yeah, that's the only flaw that I have to speak about, I think. Again, I just went into this without writing any notes, so I'm severely underprepared, but I think I did a good job. Characters, yes, loved. Plot, yes, loved. Tension, yes, loved. What else do we talk about? Yeah, so that review was probably highly insufficient and terrible, but I really, really liked this book, actually. It's not that I wasn't expecting to. I'm always hopeful, but I always try to go in with no expectations, because if I have high hopes, then there are higher chances of being disappointed. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can say because I want to talk about specific things and I never know what's considered a spoiler, and I'm the type of person that thinks every little thing is a spoiler. So I don't know how any of you are with what's considered a spoiler, so I'm just gonna try and keep it to the basic structures, and the structures were so good. So if you love a good character, do it. If like some angsty teen that's got a revenge plot based in high school, sort of, a lot basically just happens in the flats, which no problem there. Love good pacing, you got a good plot. Wait, there's a little graph that goes like, if I can draw it in, I'll get it in there. I'm gonna add a picture of what a standard plot looks like, but I'm sure everyone knows what it looks like, and that's what this follows, and it's good. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. I feel like I've done so bad at this, so I just try to say more, but I'm saying the same things, so I think I should just end it there. I've already spoken 20+ minutes. So this is gonna be a long video. Oh, it is a long video now that we're at its end. But yes, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog plus review. If you would like to see more of these videos, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if you have suggestions for books that you think I would enjoy and you think would make an interesting video of like say it's got a million twists and I'm reacting every 2 seconds and I've managed to catch it on camera, that's probably going to be something exciting to watch. If you've got any books like that, please let me know down in the comments. And my phone just made a noise. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. I can't even wave properly, this space is so small and I feel weird doing it with my left hand. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Bye.